Hello there, fellow NPCs. I am Scythe, and today we're getting back into Everlasting Summer. And I don't quite remember where we were. I know that we are playing some guitar with Alyssa, and we were yelled at by Olga because of that. But what happened when we went to bed? I don't quite remember. But right now, oh yeah, we were having most likely some kind of weird dream going on. And now we are being woken up by the alarm clock. But because that alarm clock showed up was in the last time I recorded this, it's not showing up this time, which is pleasant for my ears. Yeah. Now, let's start day 4 of Semyon camp. So, let's go. I woke up with a hellish ringing inside my head. The ringing seemed to be coming from the depths of my consciousness. But after I came to my senses, I realized that the cause of the ringing is my alarm clock. Strange. Where did it come from? Why is it standing near my bed? Did you forget that you're at a camp? It was 7:30 according to the clock. Olga Dmitrievna had already left, and there was nobody to force me to go to the lineup. Thus, I can sleep a bit more. I closed my eyes, but it seemed like my consciousness had already had its coffee and was ready for a long, productive day. I need to get up. I should plan my day out. After all, I need to at least find out something today. But still, nothing came to my head. Fine, I need to wake up completely and wash myself. Senya, that's your name. On my way to the washstands, I met Senya. What got you up so early? Anything wrong with being up early? She looked at me as if I had insulted her. No, nothing. Just curious. None of your business. Gosh, Senya isn't very sympathetic even when she's in a good mood. But today, she just looked furious. The cold water perked me up, the fog in my head dissipated and my thoughts started arranging themselves. Curiously, I started to worry about finding a good place in the canteen more than about finding answers. I brushed my teeth and was going to leave, when a quiet sound wafted past my ears. It's probably a squirrel or some other animal. Yeah, possibly some other animal. We'll see when we get to meet that. I heard another sound, this time a bit further. Oh, so we're just walking into the forest, and that is a beautiful forest. Look at that! Anyone who says they don't want this as a background on their computer, they are lying. I walked 10 meters along the path, searching for the source. Nobody, just the morning forest. Oh, Miku. I returned to the washstands and saw Miku, who was looking for something in the grass. Noticing me, she smiled and jumped up to me. Oh, hello. Good morning. I accidentally scattered my tooth powder. Just trying to gather it all back up. That's not very healthy. Don't pick up dirty tooth powder, please. The dewy grass didn't seem to be helping matters. Yeah, that too. Are you sure that's a good idea? Well, why? What else can I do? I don't have any more. It was the last I had. She pouted like a child who had just had her favorite toy taken from her. Here, I'll give you mine. I dug into my bag. No tooth powder here. Strange. Didn't I just put it there? I walked away for just a minute and now it's gone. Oh, is that how it is? I know stuff, but you don't. Most likely, hopefully. Listen, it looks like I've forgotten it. I didn't want to tell her that it had just gone missing. Knowing the sensitivity of this girl, it was safe to assume the vanishing household goods would impress her so much that her brain would reset itself in order to avoid overheating. Jeez, that's... okay. Well, I'll be off. Yeah, cheers. Visit me in the music club. I'm still alone there, but I. Miku's voice faded in the freshness of the summer morning far behind me. Getting back to the leader's cabin, I took my cell phone and looked at the battery meter. Enough power for a day, maybe even less. Of course it won't help me much in here, but still. Finding a charger in the 80s would mean inventing it. Still, regardless, the morning was shining and beautiful. The bright sun was shining over the space and time displaced pioneer camps of Yonok, warming its residents and filling them with energy to spend the day productively. Or, in my case, to waste it in futile efforts to find an explanation for everything happening here. There was an unusually large crowd near the canteen. Of course, there was no other place in the camp that pioneers loved as much as the canteen, but why were they all crowding on the porch? I came closer to find out what was going on. So I know this is not the type of game, but my mind is just going on about how, oh, someone has died, what has happened, more mysteries and weird shit, but that sort of thing doesn't happen in this game. It looked like all the camp had gathered at the porch. There were all the familiar girls, Olga Dmitrievna, and Electronic. They were having a lively discussion. I drew closer. Semyon. Have you seen Shurik today? Oh. Nope. What's the matter? We haven't been able to find him since early morning. Disappearing pioneers. Well, that's something new. Not a dead person, but a missing person. Yeah. But he was with you yesterday. She was talking to Electronic. Yes, he was. So you woke up this morning and he wasn't anywhere to be found? No. Why didn't you come to me immediately? Well, I thought that he got up early and went to wash up or something. Did he mention anything yesterday? Interjected Slavia. For example? That he was going somewhere, for instance. Nope. What exactly is so horrifying about that? It's only 9 AM. He might have decided to go for a walk. You don't know Shurik. She looked over at me seriously. Well, no, I don't. But I didn't see anything suspicious in this situation. Well, they are right and you're wrong in this case. If you don't know the person, but they do, and he is gone, and they think it's a weird thing, then yeah, they are right to assume that something has happened, you know? Okay, let's stop panicking. We'll find him. How could he miss breakfast? Juliana grinned. Exactly. Time to eat anyway. The pioneers proceeded into the canteen. Yet again, I had no choice where to fit in. The only free place was at the table with Alyssa and Juliana. Take a seat. She pointed at the chair next to her. I sat down. Aren't you gonna get your food? Good idea. I hadn't thought about that. Today's breakfast didn't look much different from yesterday's, but it looked more appetizing. Or maybe I was just very hungry. I was eager to finish it off as soon as possible to avoid yet another Liana prank. Wanna go to the beach with us today? When? Right after breakfast. Generally speaking, relaxation wasn't on my agenda today, but if I was going to spend my time thinking, why shouldn't I do it while getting a suntan? Sure, why not? Cool. She smiled nicely. I bet you're planning another prank. No, not at all. Juliana waved her hands at me. She sure is. Alyssa grinned. She's always like that. I looked at Alyssa attentively and suddenly remembered yesterday evening. A strange behavior, or quarrel. But now she looked like usual. Maybe there's no need to say anything to her. Though I wasn't going to. At the end of the day, everything that happened that night stopped seeming unusual, as if it all was just a dream. No way! I think she's right. Nobody believes me! Juliana took a tray of dirty dishes and stood up. Enjoy your meal. she said in such a way which she left no doubt. Nothing good awaits me today at the beach. Me and Alyssa were left alone. You know, I guess I shouldn't go with you after all. Why is that? Well, I got something to do. And what exactly would that be? She looked in my eyes and I couldn't even find an appropriate excuse. I don't even have a swimsuit. Try mine. You think it'll fit me? Give it a try. I don't think it's worth the effort. Don't be a wimp. I'll find you some swimming trunks. Those words only added to my fear. Wait for me by the canteen. I'll be back soon. Okay. There's nothing wrong with waiting for her, is there? Except it went all quiet. Okay, we're outside, I see. Finishing my breakfast, I left the building and sat on the stairs. Pioneers, all having their own business, hurried past me, one by one. No one stopped by me. Not even looked in my direction. No one even looked in my direction. It seemed they didn't consider me a stranger, but exactly the opposite. Just another teenager their age, their comrade, you could say. I caught myself thinking that I had started to consider this camp and its inhabitants with not as much caution as I had on the first day. Indeed, Alyssa was back in a couple of minutes. Ready? Ready for what? She gave me the trunks. Though you hardly could call them trunks. They looked like pink boxers decorated with butterflies and flowers. Are you sure they're boxers? Because not a lot of guys would have boxers like that, with butterflies and flowers on them. Thinking grand panties here, but maybe we'll see. Actually, they were boxers. Okay. I'm almost afraid to ask, but where do you get these? Too scared to put them on? Well, you know, I have not the slightest intention of doing so. I appreciate her joke, but wasn't going to make myself a laughingstock. Put them on! She said roughly. Why don't you try them on instead of me? I think that the color of this swimsuit would set off your eyes very nicely. Let's make a bet. I had no desire to accept her bets. Yeah, no thanks. Alright, you either go to the beach wearing them or you swim naked. Weighing the pros and cons, even the second option seems better than the first. I'm not planning to go anywhere at all. Then I'll tell everyone that you left these trunks in my cabin. It's not her way or the highway, it's the easy way or the hard way. Why would I do that? How should I know? She burst into laughter. I didn't want to argue with Alyssa, so I decided to go to the beach in the end. But not in those flamboyant trunks. Okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Don't be late. She ran off after saying that. I dragged my feet to the leader's cabin to get a towel and to hopefully find something like trunks. Olga Dmitrievna was waiting for me in the room. Semyon, did you hear anything about Shurik? Same as half an hour ago. I walked to my bed and took a towel. Are you going somewhere? Yes, to the beach. Wait, do you have swimming trunks? You came here without any luggage as I recall. Strange. That fact didn't seem to surprise her during our first encounter. No. So what will you wear? Good question. What? I don't know. Wait a minute. She walked to the wardrobe and unlocked a drawer. In a moment, she had a pair of normal black trunks. Where did she get those? And more importantly, why? Someone from the previous session might have forgotten them. Considering all these strange things in this camp, it wasn't really surprising to find men's swimming trunks in Olga Dmitrievna's room. Thanks. The trunks were just my size. Of course they were. Yeah, these sort of scenarios do work out like that, don't they? I got changed behind the cabin and went to the beach. A lot of pioneers had already gathered there, but I recognized only Alyssa and Uliana. Come here! I walked over to them and sat on the sand. I see you found something better. This is not so bad. It's what am I trying to say? This is not a bad image. That's what I was going to say. She stared at my trunks and smirked. As you can see. Come on, let's swim. I don't want to. Maybe later. I was not a fan of swimming. Suit yourself. The girls ran into the water. Why did I come here? Why am I not out looking for answers? Should I care about it now? Semyon seemed normal. Certainly a lot of strange things have happened to me during these 3.5 days, but not one of them, taken separately, seemed at all supernatural. Especially since I didn't get any closer to finding so much as a clue. On the contrary, everything that has happened has only confused me more. What alternatives do I have? I won't get any truth from the local residents. Though I doubt they even know it. Should I try to leave this place? But how far can I walk, considering that I don't even know where I am? It turns out that my only option is to wait. After some time the girls came back. Uliana held something in her hands. Look! I looked up and saw a crayfish. Just a normal crayfish. Bloody hell, man. The crayfish is freaking out too. Uliana lay next to me and started to torment it. Leave the poor animal alone. Why? It's just a crayfish. So what? It has a right to live too. I rip its claws off and ask the cook to boil it for dinner. As if we have nothing else to eat. I looked at Alyssa. She seemed to be totally uninterested in Uliana's fun with the poor sea creature. Tell her! What's wrong? It's a crayfish. It deserves it. Hoi! Okay. It looked like the girls missed their lessons on nature in primary school and lacked empathy for the environment. Give it! I snatched the crayfish from Uliana. Suit yourself! I was a little surprised she didn't resist. I looked into the eyes of the poor animal. They didn't express anything at all, but I thought that if it could speak, it would certainly be outraged. Maybe it would even go to the UN Convention of Human Rights. To tell the truth, I wasn't sure that would help. I took the crayfish to the river and set it free. Never mind, I'll catch more. There are plenty of them here, said Uliana. No doubt about it, I mumbled. Time passed and I was getting sleepy. I fell asleep. I don't remember what I was dreaming about, if I was dreaming at all, but I woke up when someone shook my shoulder. Oh, well, damn! Olga Dmitrievna stood next to me. Are you sure this camp is for kids? Damn. Olga Dmitrievna stood next to me. Did you come to swim too? I asked, still half asleep. No. It's almost time for lunch and we still can't find Shurik, the leader said, standing before me in a wet swimsuit. And? I want you to look for him. Dude, this guy is such a dick. I mean, he has a lot of knowledge, but he doesn't care that one of his classmates, pioneer friends, is missing. He's been missing for, an entire day? Time for lunch. Okay, half a day. Seems like I'm the only pioneer in this entire camp. I was sincerely outraged. Every time it was getting clearer that Olga Dmitrievna considered me her errand boy to be used like a slave. If I came to you, then I want you to help me. Why exactly me? However, after giving it some thought, I decided to agree. After all, my shoulders and back got sunburned while I was sleeping, and searching for Shurik would let me get acquainted with unexplored locations of the camp. Okay. I was not exactly right to wander around wearing only swimsuit trunks, so I should get changed first. 10 minutes later, I stood outside Olga Dmitrievna's cabin, deciding where to go. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, so we can go home, to the boathouse, or to the bus stop. I know that all these places are wrong, but I wonder what they are going to say. But it's still a stupid idea. If Shurik was hiding anywhere in the camp, he would have been found by now, of course, assuming he wants to be found. So I hardly think I can help them. Together with this thought, I entered the cabin and stretched myself out on the bed. Nothing good will happen if Olga Dmitrievna finds me here. Oh, I'm just ditching this place, huh? Stop. Enough. Am I just some trembling creature, or do I have rights? I didn't want to do anything anyway. The day was just as hot as the previous ones, and the only thing to do was to stay in bed and wait for lunch. I was just falling asleep when somebody knocked on the door. Come in. Slavia stood on the doorstep. Olga Dmitrievna isn't here, is she? No. And what are you doing? She asked with suspicion. I looked over myself, lying on the bed, and said, Lying down? I can see that. But I heard Olga Dmitrievna ask you to find Shurik. Well, yes. And? What's the point? I'm sure she already turned the whole camp upside down. Not much time has passed. Why should we panic? You know, stuff could happen. Slavia looked at me thoughtfully. Get up. Do I have to? I was so worn out that even the thought of going somewhere frightened me. Yes, you do. Slavia is not a person who I could ever say no to. I stood up reluctantly and went out of the cabin with her. We stood at the doorway for some time, relaxing in the beams of the summer sun, though it was rather frying. Where shall we go? We have to look everywhere. Great idea. Yes, great. The first stop on our route was the library. Slavia went to Senya sitting at the table and spoke to her. I stood in the doorway. I didn't want to communicate with this librarian any more than necessary. A few minutes later, Slavia came back to me. So? Nothing. She shook her head, as expected. The canteen. We still had time before lunch starts, so there was no usual crowd of pioneers. It was empty inside and outside of the building. While Slavia was talking to cooks, I was sitting and playing with a salt shaker. Dude, I am a fucking piece of shit! Some salt spilled out of the pot. Certainly, I would be worried if I was superstitious. Strangely enough, he wasn't here either. It would be unexpected if she had found him, for instance, in the refrigerator. The next stop, according to our plan, was the infirmary. I decided not to go inside and waited outside for Slavia. Dude, why are you... Ah, Jesus. No results. So, I remember back when I started playing visual novels over 10 years ago. I was playing this game and I was playing Katawa Shoyo, another game I want to play on this channel. And I can see now why I didn't like this game, because, dude, motherfucker, he's boring. But I really loved Katawa Shoyo, and my girlfriend at the time tried the game as well, and she just hated it because the main character was so boring. It just crossing wires here. Thought, is this how she felt about the main character? Jesus. There were no pioneers playing football on the sports ground. It would be hard for Shurik to get lost among them. Finally, we reached the clubhouse. You think he could be here? I think that's the first place people would have searched. Let's go in. Empty inside. Slavia opened the door and went into the next room. I followed her. Ah, new space. This all seemed to me to be a stupid undertaking. It was strange, especially because it was Slavia's idea. I mean, I understand responsibility and so on, but isn't it obvious that he isn't in the camp? That's not a reason to not look for him. That's more reason to look for him, damn it. After all, he isn't playing hide and seek with us, is he? No one here either. What did you expect? He'd be sitting in a closet? Well, it seemed like I offended her, yeah. Sorry. But seriously, I understand, but we have to check all possibilities. Okay, listen. What do you really think? About Shurik's disappearance? Yes. Maybe he went into the forest and has been caught by a forest spirit. She laughed at that. What a fabulous story. However, in this camp you never know. Yes, true that. But now isn't the time for jokes. Cheer up. We'll find him. How? You're refusing to look for him? I hope so. Slavia smiled. Well, I still have some things to do. See you later. She left, but I was standing there for some time staring at the Cybernetics Club's closet. However, I was so inspired by Slavia's action that I decided to continue searching somewhere else. Well, that's about fucking time, isn't it? Bus stop. Why are we looking at my place? The bus stop seemed to be a fine choice. A strange thought came across me. Perhaps Shurik is in the same situation as me, and so he decided to run away from this camp. Maybe by the 410 bus. It could really turn out to be true, if he came here by accident too. Although the chances of that are quite slim. But you never know. What if the bus would really come? However, I could hardly believe in that. Indeed, I spent a couple of minutes waiting at the bus stop, made sure that there were no signs of Shurik or anyone else here, and headed back to the camp. Somebody rushed out from behind the gates and bumped into me. The impact wasn't strong, so I just staggered. Miko stood in front of me and rubbed her bruised forehead. Oh, sorry. It's alright, it's my fault. I was going to the music club but got lost in thoughts about a new song. You know, think about the lyrics and music. I hadn't realized how I got here. So you don't have to apologize. Her words per minute rate obviously exceeded the recognition limits of my brain. I made an attempt to retreat promptly. Sure. Gotta go, you know. Oh, wait! I wanted to leave as usual without having to listen to her, but Miko grabbed my hand. Her grasp gave me the creeps as I got a clear vision of an agonizing execution by another rap session. Can you help me a little, please? Just a teensy-weensy bit? That definitely wasn't on my to-do list today. Well, I'll be glad to, but it's... Pretty please? Miko looked at me with such puppy dog eyes that my heart started to melt. She totally wasn't going to let go of my hand. And what exactly do you need? You'll accompany me. I can't manage to compose on my own. I can sing or play. I can't do both at the same time. Even a virtuoso has her weaknesses. Well, you know, I can't really play any instrument. Never mind that. I'll show you everything. Come on, let's go. Ha. Don't go with Miko. I wanna see what else we can do here. You know, I should be searching for Shurik and all that stuff. Miku looked at me with frustration. Just for a little bit. Yeah, I was lost for words. She dragged me along with her. Probably nothing good will come out of this, but the only way to get her off of me is to wrestle my hand out of hers. But that wouldn't be very nice. Nothing bad will happen after all. Probably. Right. Within a minute we were already standing in the music club. Miku took a guitar. Here, have a look. She sat down and started playing. Let's actually fix the sound again. Yeah, I don't understand because before I recorded I lowered the volume here. I'm going to lower it down here, and I also lowered this. So it seems to be a general setting for the entire game and then one setting for each save, which is bad. I tried to follow her hands. The tune seemed quite simple. It seemed quite easy to repeat it. Got it? Kind of. Let's try. I took the guitar and started playing. That didn't really work out. Let me show you one more time. She played much better than me. Looking at Miku, I wondered. Of course she was a chatterbox. She was naive and clumsy. However, she was extremely talented in music. Try again. I managed much better the second time. Wow, that's much better, she smiled. It wasn't hard. In fact, just repeat the same notes over and over. Just don't lose track. Start on my command. Okay. Ready? Go! Ha la 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 la! It was a song in Japanese. Frankly speaking, I didn't understand a single word, but Miku's singing was quite good. Yeah, Hatsune Miku, doing a Vocaloid song. It was, in fact, it was outstanding. She put her heart into every note, every word. Yeah, music probably is the very thing for her to dedicate her life to. It seemed like it wasn't her who chose the music, but the music that had chosen her. The last half of an hour presented Miku in a completely different light. Oh, thank you. Did you like it? I finally managed it with you. On my own, it's not so good. I either mess up with the words or miss the strings. And it's just perfect with you. Thank you so much. You really have a talent, you know. Just to play it like that without any preparation. Nope. It seemed I changed my opinion about her too hastily. Thanks for the song. Gotta go. See ya. Thanks for... The rest of the words were left behind the door. I leaned on the wall on the club cabin inside. Miku's song was still playing in my mind. I went for lunch with mixed feelings, with a sense of accomplishment and with a realization of time wasted. The canteen was crowded. I couldn't stay unnoticed. Olga Dmitrievna called me. Semyon, come with us. The camp leaders, Slavia and Electronic, were sitting at a 4-seat table. I nodded and went to get my food. This time I had to spend several minutes in the queue. Today's menu didn't really differ from the other day's menus. The dishes looked the same at least. When I sat at the table and wished a bon appetit to everyone, Olga Dmitrievna said, "So, what are you thinking?" About what? We searched for Shurik all around. It's noon and he's nowhere to be found. I took a note of the rhyme, but didn't want to point it out. We looked all over the camp. I went all around the neighboring forest. Olga Dmitrievna looked at me. And I helped too. We must call the police. Maybe we should wait until the evening. I asked lazily. Maybe he went home. That can't be. Shurik lives thousands of miles away. By train? The nearest station, she paused, is far off. Now it was getting interesting. Yeah. Every time the conversation reached a point concerning ways I could leave Semyon, all the camp inhabitants started changing the subject. How far is far? Really far. The camp leader looked at me, indicating with her expression that asking more questions was not advised. So we should go deeper into the forest. Maybe he got lost. Shurik always takes a compass, chimed in Electronic. I wonder what else could be found in his magic vest, assuming he has one. If I were to get lost in the forest, a compass would be of no real use. No, it definitely would. You know, if you know how to use one. Police. We should call the police in the evening. Why wait until the evening? Not right now, at least. Okay, so you'll do it later. They were all silent. We should be able to find him before evening. We still have time. If he actually got lost, we have no time to lose. We cannot be sure. Then where is he? Where? There was some truth to the camp leader's words. Hiding the whole day just like that is suspicious. Why would he do that? Shurik seemed to me to be quite a serious pioneer. Uliana would have been a better fit for this behavior. So there is a good reason to believe that he was gone. All that can be done has already been done. We'll just have to wait. Slavia Electronic and Olga Dmitrievna looked at me sorrowfully but didn't say a word. I finished my lunch, took the tray back and left the canteen. It's still the first half of the day. But that is also where we cut off for today's episode. I thought we might actually be able to find Shurik in this episode, but I guess not. It's a two-parter, at least a two-parter. So we'll see if I manage to find him in the next one. I know exactly where he is. And so I know why we couldn't find him in the other locations from before. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you Josef for donating directly to my Ko-fi page. If you guys want to help me out, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one, and remember, just because you're not the main character, it does not mean you're not important. Goodbye everyone.